So some of the solutions that we provide at Alliance, we do microwave backhaul, infrastructure products, fiber solutions, supply chain, and indoor and outdoor DAS solutions. You know, a couple of numbers that we like to talk about. Last year in LC connections on fiber, we did over 1.6 million LC connections and 50,000 jumpers for the wireless market alone. That number is growing every year. Done infrastructure for years and years and supplied complete solutions on that, as well as complete solutions in DAS and ODAS. We have a world-class product assortment. We have many industry veterans right across the company. You know, pretty much everybody has a minimum of 10 years experience. We can provide pre- and post-sales tech support. As well, we can support your builds anywhere that you are building with warehouses throughout the U.S., Canada, and CALA. Drilling down on some of the wireless infrastructure solutions we have, cable, fiber, and coax, and connectorization, so full line of fiber, whatever is required, as well as any style of coax you need, whether it be indoor plenum rated, outdoor for a tower mount. We're also a very large distributor of antennas, both base station, indoor, and sectorized antennas, and specialized microwave antennas. Cabinets, accessories, DAS solutions, indoor and outdoor, small cell, DAS cabling. We are the experts in PIM, passive intermodulation, fiber solutions for the tower and the wireless industry, IDAS and ODAS, as well as supply chain services, because it's your build's no good unless we can get it to you in one piece. Some of the technical services we do provide, licensing applications with whatever government industry that we need to do that for, network design assistance, pre-configuration of radios before they go out to site, as well as tower selection and kitting. And like to remind you that our next webinar is on digital oil field considerations. It's on July 8th. You can find that registration link, if you haven't received it in your email, at alliancecorporation.ca. And at this point, I'm going to pass it over to Scott Hammond and let him run you through his presentation.
Well, thanks, Mike. Let me just get my screen shared here. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank you, everyone, especially the folks at Alliance, for allowing us to introduce you to some of our product lines. We've been working with Alliance Corporation now for a number of years, providing them with our infrastructure, whether it be racking infrastructure or electrical enclosures. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the racking infrastructure. There is some electrical enclosures that we have manufactured or developed for outdoor type of environments. Today I'm going to focus on just one specific product line, and we'll have to set up another webinar another time to really get into the details related to cooling and additional product lines such as that. So just quickly on the agenda, 96 years in the making, we talk a little bit about the history of Hammond, a little bit about value and how we really bring value to the table. We'll talk about our modification services, as I mentioned, our NEMA enclosures, open rack product line that we really cater towards the broadband and wireless marketplaces. We'll show you some accessories, and I want to show you some really neat features we built into our website to make it really easy for you folks to be able to find product very quickly and find exactly what you're looking for, so you can get your project rolling. So just as a starter, I'm not quite sure if you folks are aware, but we actually started the business back in 1917. I'm actually a fourth generation Hammond, and we started this as two base radios, amplifiers, and battery eliminators. And this was originally designed as a business that would be manufacturing radios. And what happened over time is we were manufacturing radios for military and different types of applications where those radios required to be mounted somehow. And we were actually the first company in Canada to introduce the two-post rack and a 24-inch mounting narrow-depth cabinet. In fact, we had priority for steel in the First and Second World War for cabinets and for steel to manufacture cabinets for communication purposes for both U.S. and Canada government. In the 50s, we got into more of the typical industrial commercial type enclosures, typical to the type of products you see from us today. and that extended out to other products such as our small enclosures. We have die cast, we have injection molded. Today we're just under 1,000 employees. We have facilities in Canada, U.S., Europe, and Asia, and we have offices pretty much located around the world. So we often ask customers what they value, and what we've really found is we've kind of identified everything on here in terms of what customers really seem to value from us, and that's the market knowledge and advice and consulting we provide. We have industry specialists that provide certain specific advice or consulting in certain areas. So whether it be broadband, we have a specialist that I mentioned. We'll have to do a webinar at some point on cooling. We have a gentleman. All he does, his sole responsibility is cooling and specialized enclosures for different types of applications. We have a gentleman, or myself, for example, that I'm more of the Datacom guy, the data center applications. So I'm out in looking at computer rooms, trying to find out better ways to help customers with their cooling requirements, as well as racking infrastructure. We have a gentleman that's specifically responsible for wastewater treatment plants, and the list goes on from there. So we've been in the business for 96 years. We've been known in the industry for being the guy to call when you have a question about enclosures, racks, or even transformers. I should mention that previous business was dry-type transformers. That's a different company called Hammond Power Solutions now. It's still in the family, but it's a completely separate entity. What we're really known for is our innovation. New product development and enhancements is a really big thing for us. We're constantly working on improving products so that it's easier for contractors to install. My main focus from the rack perspective is really to be the most contractor-friendly rack and cabinet manufacturer there is. One of the main reasons we are able to fulfill orders and to get product out the door is we have more inventory than any of our competition combined. We have $12 million worth of inventory sitting in the multiple warehouses, mainly in Ontario, Canada, but we do have another facility in Cheektowaga, New York. We have stock in Asia, we have stock in Europe, we have stock in Australia. But just in the Ontario warehouses alone, we have just over $12 million worth of inventory. And that's a lot of stock. In fact, I had a customer through yesterday, and I took him for a tour through our warehouse, and he was just blown away by how much inventory was there. And the key with that is we're able to have stock in the hands of your customers at a very, very quick time frame, whether it be throughout the U.S., whether it be on a shipment over to overseas, or on a flight to your nearest city. We can make that happen. Our other big time and cost savings we find is our flexibility to respond to change is huge. And we do that through our modification capabilities. And I'm going to go through that in the next slide. But our other big thing is the website. I'm going to show you some neat features we've built into our website. And I think we have one of the best websites for our type of product line available today. As I mentioned in the beginning, trust and reliability is very important. And the 96 years that we've been in business is something that really stands out from everybody else. There's a lot of competition that have come in since we started manufacturing this product line, and competition is good. It's helped us really define ourselves as something that's a little bit different than everything that's out there. I talked most about that stuff. So this is the most important part here, is our modification capabilities is really where it's at. When standard just won't do, Hammond can modify your product. And this comes down to whether it be electrical enclosures or die-cast enclosure or a standard rack or cabinet. And this really gives you the ability to give your customer exactly what they need or exactly what you want to sell them. So whether it be a paint, you have a specific paint color in mind, you have a brand or a corporate image you need to follow, you want to change the actual image or color of that product, we can do that without a problem. Whether it be a standard color, we have a wide range of standard colors, safety oranges, blues, greens, reds, grays, all sorts of different colors. If you have a REL color swatch or a Pantone color swatch, we can certainly match that as well. And in some cases, we've actually developed custom colors for key customers. So we really can pretty much make your product look however you want. And in addition to that, we also have silkscreen and different logo capabilities, and that's something that we are always happy to help out with and really complete that full branding image. Now, holes and cutouts are another one. Oftentimes we see louver panels, we see cutouts for fans, we see knockouts for conduit, all sorts of different types of punches or cutouts so that we can provide with our NC or laser capabilities. Grounding and bonding is really important, and that's something that we do quite often. All of our products, for the most part, come with grounding or bonding studs included. But say, for example, you had a cabinet or an enclosure where you wanted to have your cable tray coming across the ceiling, and rather than running a copper wire down from that tray, you can have a very short wire coming to the top of the cabinet, because we can actually mount 2 bonding studs at the top of that cabinet or rack to make it a very easy process. And of course, construction changes. We can change the height, width, the depth, whatever you want to accommodate your project request. Last but not least, we can actually assemble everything together. So say, for example, if you wanted filter fans on the side of your cabinet, you wanted shelves inside, we can do that for you. So all you have to do is literally unwrap the product off the skid and install your own equipment, and the product's ready to go. So we do have a large range of electrical and commercial enclosures. We have a very vast range ranging from non-metallic. We have different types of materials, different types of applications, ranging from NEMA 1 through NEMA 4X. So we have the corrosion resistance, we have the oil and dust tight, we have the water or forced water, and we have tray, all sorts of different stuff. I would highly advise that if this is a product of interest to you, take a look, if you haven't done so already, at our website, www.hammondmfg.com. And I'm going to show you some features at the end of this webinar that can really help you save some time when looking for those types of products. What I do want to talk to you about today is we have actually introduced this new swing-out wall mount cabinet. Specifically, it's a Type 12 and Type 4 wall mount for certain type of applications. Now, this might be something that goes into a wastewater treatment plant. It could be a warehouse, a manufacturing facility, whatever the case may be. It's a heavy-duty product. It has an optional window or solid door, and you can literally mount all of your rack mount configuration equipment, as well as an electrical inner panel. The bottom image on this slide actually shows the back section. There's actually some studs in there where you can mount an optional inner panel and really have that full seamless package of electrical, DIN rail mounted project application devices, as well as rack mount equipment. And that really gives you that full all-in-one solution. This is available in a variety of depths and a variety of widths. And again, we can customize this to whichever you prefer. The nice thing about this is we also include bonding studs throughout the entire product. So if grounding or bonding is concerned, it shouldn't be an issue. Rest assured that Hammond includes a number of bonding and studs to accommodate. This is finished in a light gray, but again, with our modification capabilities, you can have whichever color you desire. This does come with a padlock adapter handle, but again, that can be swapped out for whichever you prefer. And again, we also have done a number of modifications with this already, where it includes filter fans or small air conditioners. At this point, I'm going to move on to more of the rack and cabinet would be inside of a facility rather than outside of a facility. Again, we do hope to provide a webinar on specifically the outdoor enclosures with air conditioners and all that jazz at a later date, and we'll make sure that we coordinate that with the Alliance crew to make sure that I know that was definitely an interest for a number of you. What I would like to talk about moving forward from here is some of the Datacom infrastructure we have. And I say Datacom, but it really is networking communications. It's something that every computer room, every wiring closet, bottom of a tower has. And it's something where there's a number of applications and different types of products that can cater towards your requirements. What we've done is we've really taken a look at our open frame offering, and we've really developed a wide range of different types of applications. So we have, from the left here, we have our economy standard contractor rack. We have our heavy duty. We have our Telcordia, certified by Telcordia Seismic Rack for if your projects are out west on the East Coast, or even if they're in Montreal. We've had a number of requests with the recent seismic activity in the Ottawa and Montreal area in Canada, as well as in the California area in the USA, where seismic is a required product. So we have both open frame as well as cabinet options for that. And then we have some new innovative updates that we've done to our four-post adjustable depth rack that I would like to share with you. So getting right into it, a rack is a rack. I've always heard it from everybody, oh my goodness, you sell racks. It's the same thing as everybody else. The reality is, it's not just a rack. We have grounding studs on this. In fact, we put a bonding stud on the bottom as well as the top of this rack. In addition to that, This is a rugged system. This is our economy rack, our basic rack that supports a suggested load capacity of 800 pounds. In fact, when it was rated, it actually exceeded double that amount, but we put a safety rating on of half the amount of what it failed at. Now, the nice thing about this is it comes with packaging on all four sides. And we, in fact, shipped this across the country and back to make sure that it would survive, and it survived with no issues. And this is the great thing about this product is it's a low-cost item, but again, it's made domestically in North America, and it's a great product. It is tapped 1032, again, more for the North American, Canada type of clientele, but we can certainly provide you with some options for 1224 as well. If you require a heavy-duty rack, our DNR series originally was our preferred source, preferred solution for a two-post rack. But it's a lot more heavy-duty. It's 10-gauge steel. In fact, that's heavier than any other rack manufactured in North America. 10-gauge steel is a super heavy-duty rack. And you look at the bottom of that slide, 1,530 pounds is the suggested load capacity. And based on our rating of how we rate our products, you can take a guess at what that failed at. So it's a significant product. It's a great product, even for heavy equipment, whether it be batteries. You can do all sorts of different type of applications with this. Great for those heavy switches, and I have a couple of neat accessories to show you that can really assist with your setup. Again, we have two bonding studs. There's a number of guys that, well, we get guys all the time that say, man, you actually include bonding studs with your product. In fact, we do. You don't have to scrape down the paint. You don't have to spend the money it takes and the labor it takes to actually put a bonding stud after the fact. We take care of it for you in the manufacturing process. It's covered during paint, so it's properly bondable, and you can rest assured that you're going to have a quality product to install. Again, we offer both 19 and 23-inch rack mount widths. And with this product specifically, the 19-inch is 1032, and the 23-inch, which is more of the telecom width, is designed for 1224 tapped. Now, again, those are tapped both front and rear, same with the RB series, so that you can rest assured that you can mount your equipment from front or rear without having to worry about that after the fact. Again, this is also wrapped completely in cardboard and prevents shipping damage. We send these around the world, and we want to make sure that it arrives in one piece when it arrives on your doorstep. Now, talking about the seismic rack, and this is something that's a little bit different. So this is a lot larger of a rack, and in fact, a lot of guys claim that they have a seismic zone 4 rack, and the reality is, seismic is a blurred, really rough term. IBC and UBC is a general rating that people often say, oh, I have a UBC rated for 10,000 pounds. The reality is that measures the weakest point of that frame. So say, for example, if you had a seismic rack and you tested it to the weakest point of that frame, that doesn't actually give it a proper shaker table test. That doesn't actually test to make sure that it can stand the vibrations that an earthquake or a seismic event or beside a railway track would provide or create. So this is something that we've really taken advantage of, the Telcordia testing process, and send this off to an independent lab to be tested. In fact, it survived, exceeds 800 pounds of standard equipment as well as 50 pounds of overhead cable. That actually fills it well over 3,000 pounds of static load, which is unparalleled compared to anything else we have. Again, it includes two bonding studs for the guy that wants to have that tray above or below. It really is your all-round rack. But I say battery rack on there because 9 times out of 10 when a customer is installing a DC power application, he wants a rugged system that can support a lot of weight so he can mount your batteries on there. So we've actually custom designed a new shelf specific for this to support batteries to make sure that there's nothing that could penetrate a battery that sits on that shelf. And we have that available as a standard product, and it's a great system. Again, these products are standard on the shelf, ready to ship, and that's, again, one of our key features. Just moving right along, the DRZ4 seismic, well, geez, I didn't update the slide for that. My apologies. The top of this should actually read the DC4R series. My apologies for that. And this is our adjustable 4-post rack. Now, typical 4-post racks are these guys that, you want to have a fixed frame in the middle of a room, but we really give you that flexibility to adjust this to whichever depth you want. Now, some key features with this is it's available in 24 or 44 rack units, 19 inches wide, square hole punched rail. So whether you be in the US and you prefer 1224, or in Canada with 1032, or maybe you're overseas with an M5 or an M6 type of thread, the square hole gives you that flexibility. Now, a lot of other server equipment in the IT industry already has these quick adapters that will plug right into that square hole. So we really give you that full range. This, again, I'm just jumping around here, but the load capacity in this is 2,000 pounds. And the more equipment you mount in there, the stronger it gets. But something we've just done to make it your life as a contractor much easier is we've actually made this self-squaring, where previous design and previous or another competition, when you mount it together, there's a bit of play, so that can actually sit and wobble side to side. Some manufacturers even include a level, or in their instructions say, get a level out to make sure this is square. Our new design actually ensures that when you put those bolts through, it actually is self-squaring, and you do no longer have to pull that square out. So we think that's a great feature. In addition, ours is the only rack that actually is fully infinitely adjustable, and you can add an optional third rail. So say, for example, if you had a UPS and something that was a lot deeper, maybe let's say 36 inches or 42 inches deep, you can actually have our adjustable depth version that measures from 32 to 48 inches in depth and have a third rail that's 24 inches in depth, as well as your 46 or 48 inch depth. So it really gives you a full range of options of how you want to put this together, which we really enjoy as well, because then we know that we're helping the customer, and the customer can have exactly what they need and without compromise. We have lots of accessories. The reality is there's tons of accessories to apply to this product line, whether it be horizontal or vertical. We have a great website I should mention again, if you haven't been on there yet, www.hammondmfg.com, and that has this vertical finger bandager, the FRCM series. It's a double hinged door system, so you can actually pivot that door from side to side. It's less expensive. In fact, it's almost half of some of our competitors, which have larger names than ours, that have a similar product line. But ours is all steel construction, because we like keeping it high quality so it'll last forever. No chance of breaking those spools or those fingers off. They're on there tight. In fact, there's an optional, well, it's included, but it's a clip-on cable guard. That's a 1 1/4 bend radius, perfect for fiber. We also have spools that are rated for Cat 6A, and I understand those are more IT types of cabling, but we see it more and more often in lots of different types of applications where there's telecom, networking, and wireless guys that are using all these types of different types of cabling that's on the IT side. So lots of options for you here. Now, one of the neat things here, everyone always forgets their copper bus bar, so I'm just going to throw it out there. We have a nice 19-inch rack mount unit where, again, you can have a copper bus bar with 10 1032 drilled tapped holes, and we have a great price that matches pretty much. We're competitive with everybody else in the market, available in 19 and 23-inch options. Another thing I'll mention is this DAV bracket. This is something that's fairly new for us, but there's a lot of guys that are mounting equipment that really shouldn't be mounted on a 2-post, but you really don't have the space to work with for a 4-post or a cabinet. So what we've done is we've come up with this neat little bracket that allows you to mount equipment from the front and the back of a 2-post rack. And again, it's available in 4 depths, from 15 all the way up to 31 inches in depth. So you can have a UPS, you can have whatever type of equipment you're working with that's deeper, and actually mount that to this bracket. And you can see there's an L and an R on there, so you can't mess up which side it goes on. It's vented in the side, so if you have a switch or some type of equipment that's side air that has side airflow, that accommodates that as well. So we think it's a pretty neat product, and for 400-pound capacity, you can't go wrong. For power strips, we're one of these guys that, we have 15 and 20 amp. We do the basic power strips, so we don't really get into the managed. We have the metered version there as well. We have actually over 500 SKUs of power strips, and these are actually made domestically in North America. For the Canadians, these are made in Waterloo, Ontario, but we do actually have some manufacturing for some of the product line also in Cheektowaga, I should mention. The nice thing about this is customizable. So say, for example, if you wanted to have a certain number of receptacles with certain, maybe you want to be rotated, we can do and accommodate certain types of applications. We also have a hospital-grade option. So if you have a heavy or a sensitivity to ground, we have a special hospital-grade ground unit. So lots of different types of options for that. I think the biggest thing that I want to tell you guys about is our website. We have this great website, and I love pushing it because we just launched this brand new site. I'm just going to pull it up here. So we launched this new site last year where we did an update for our racks and cabinets. And I'm just going to, for the folks that were interested in the electrical enclosures, I'm just going to jump on here for a minute. And what I really want to show you is the ease of use of using this site. So say, for example, if you have a competitor website, I'm not going to mention any names, but if you had another company that started with H, and you have that part number and you want to put it into the search bar, it'll actually come up with our version of that part for you. And I don't have an example right now. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, so I'm just going to leave that out. But please feel free to take the time to do that. The other thing you can do in the search bar is that it's an intuitive search. So say, for example, do you know the height, width, and depth of an enclosure you're looking for? And I'm just going to use this for example. So maybe you want 8 inches high by 8 inches wide by 8 inches deep. You can actually take that and hit enter. And what our intuitive search does is it goes through our entire server of all the electrical enclosures, and you can also do the same thing on the racks and cabinets, and actually sort by size. And it'll actually find the closest size match to that. Now, say, for example, you have a specific material in mind. So let's say, for example, we want non-metallic. So I can actually click on non-metallic, and I click on filter again. And here's everything now. There's nothing to exact that match, but here's our closest size match to 8 by 8 by 8. And again, I can literally click on that part and see what it looks like. I can actually go to the specification page and see right there exactly everything on the screen. Now, the nice thing, if you haven't been on our site before, and this is something that really caters to the engineers and that are watching today, is I can actually click on a part number and have full access to step files, DXF, and PDFs right from the screen. So this is a beautiful function where there's no signing in, there's no login required. You just go there and download the information, and you're ready to go. BIM files and Visio files are coming. They've been requested a number of times. We're working on that to get that up there. But for the meantime, we have step DXFs and PDFs. And the nice thing is we have a great engineering group. So if you have questions or need additional information, by all means, please reach out to your Alliance rep, and we'll make sure that I'm sure they'll get a hold of us, and we'll make sure that you get the answers you require. One other thing I wanted to show you is on our rack side. I'm just going to go back to our rack site. So say, for example, you're looking for a 45U cabinet. So I haven't talked too much about cabinets so far. You can literally type in 45U again in that search bar, and it's going to come up with everything that matches that size. Now, one thing I'll mention to you is we have these great things called rapid racks. And these rapid racks are pre-assembled racks. And we have that available in both for our C2, which is more of our test and measurement type of product, as well as our data product. So I'm just going to go back to the cabinets and kind of take a look here, because we have our C4RR as well as our C2RRs. And those are both pre-assembled racks. And again, these are in stock, ready to go, ready to ship today. In fact, it's 2:30 Eastern time right now. If you had an order in right now, it could be out the door off to your customer immediately. And that's something, a nice feature about our company is because we're centrally located in off the eastern coast, we can certainly have product distributed across North America very quickly. So that's pretty much it from my end. Again, I know you guys were really hoping to get more information on our product lines from an outdoor enclosure perspective. One other thing I will leave you with is we have a climate control sizing software built right into our website, and I know if there's some people that asked a question about that prior to the webinar today. But if you're interested, take a look at this. There's some great different things you can do with here in terms of going through different settings, and it will really tell you from the height, width, and depth of the equipment that you're looking at, or the enclosure you're looking at, and the BTUs that it's producing or the equipment's producing. It'll tell you the best scenario if you require an air conditioner or a filter fan. So there's some great resources available on our website, and I highly advise anybody that has not visited to take the time and check us out. So again, I'm going to turn it over to Mike, and again, I appreciate the interest.
Well, thank you for that, Scott. Very good presentation. Lisa, do you have any questions at this point? I know I have a couple here.
Sorry, no, there's no questions that have been submitted.
Okay, I do have one here already. The small cabinet for outdoor installations. Do you want to maybe pull up your site again and look at that, or is that
Absolutely
something that you can just talk about? Yeah.
It's
Okay,
up.
I'll just make you the presenter again, Scott.
All right. All right. So, in regard to was there a specific question in regard to this cabinet?
Just general small cabinet for outdoor installations. What's
small cabinet for outdoor installations? All right. And a rack mount, or was there a certain?
No further details, unfortunately.
No further details. Well, the nice things about our product line is there's a number of cabinets, number of NEMA enclosures that we can actually install racks into. And actually, there's a we have a number of the Eclipse series, for example, is one of our most popular series. This one I'm just highlighting here. Okay. That is really a wall mount application that you can have either a fixed frame or a swing frame rack mount type of kit installed into that. And again, there's a number of applications we can do where we can modify any of these wall mount enclosures, whether it be with the window or not, to house a rack mount or otherwise. That's probably the, I can always talk a little bit more about the different accessories for these kind of things, but really I think what the best thing to do is if there's a specific question or a specific project or whatnot that the recipient that asked the question is working on, I would advise to get a hold of your local Alliance representative and really work with them to work with us to find out exactly what the requirement is and see if we can develop a specific product for them.
Okay. So basically it's, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say there was one question, but the person asking it has left. I'm just going to, he says he's interested in outdoor pedestals for D-slam.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't get really into the pedestal market.
No.
There's a number of other manufacturers that I know that do specialize in that. Unfortunately, Hammond is not one of them.
Okay.
Okay. Further on the outdoor enclosure, that might have a hinge cage rack / rails for service. So from what you said before, I'm assuming that most of those outdoor cabinets you could pretty much put anything in them.
Yeah, I think specifically to that question would have been the double hinge, which is the one that I first spoke about, which is the one that's on the screen right now, which is that double hinge swing out multi-purpose wall mount cabinet that really has the rails as well as the studs for the inner panel. And that really gives that complete flexibility, again, for access to whatever may be the requirement with full racking capability and the ability to swing that open to access the equipment from the rear for further servicing.
Okay. And the NEMA rating on those are?
Type 12 and Type 4. So you get 2 for 1. So you get the pressure water and the oil and dust all in one.
Okay. And now I know you briefly touched on it with your cooling calculator, but there was another question about cooling alternatives other than AC. Is there anything that you guys, I guess free cooling would be one?
Well, there's always the filter fan option, and I'm just going to go fly back to the home page here, and on our website we have this whole section on climate control. So there's all these different air conditioners, but there's also the filter fans below, and these have a rating of Type 12. You can get a 3R rain hood, but for the most part, these would be the closest you could get to a non-air conditioned type of product. Unfortunately, we really are not an HVAC company, and we really do not specialize in a lot of free cooling type of product. On the data center side, I can really go into hot oil containment, but I'm not quite sure if that. I'll at least show it. I'll at least show the product so that. If there is an interested party, we do have this hot oil containment, which is more of a data center type of application. And I'll just leave that up for a couple seconds. If there's anybody interested, please put it into the chat bar right now, and I can go through that.
Okay.
Okay, I do have a question. I like how he's worded it. Sorry to beat a dead horse. Outdoor weatherproof cabinet enclosure for mounting on a concrete pad. Any options?
Absolutely. Again, on the electrical side, I'm just going to fly back to that industrial enclosure. Most of these product lines down here, the freestanding enclosures, can be mounted to a pedestal, or not to a pedestal, to a concrete slab. These all have the ability to have, they all have a door on them in some case. Oh, that's a wonderful picture. Yeah, this is failing for me here. Yeah, I'll just load up the PDF. These do definitely have cutouts on the inside and the bottom. so they can be mounted directly to a slab. But again, these can also be modified to have double door in some cases, and they all have the lifting eyes on there, so a crane of some sort can lift them into place. But again, I think we should really focus on putting together a outdoor enclosure focused webinar related to our full electrical and product range. I would love to make sure that we can get our product specialist to do a webinar on that. Where again, I'm more on the data, the networking, telecom side.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Scott. Really appreciate that. And just to remind everybody again, our next webinar in the series is Digital Oilfield Considerations, and that's July 8th. For information on that, go to our website, alliancecorporation.ca. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks again, everyone.